What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to add your TV placements to IMDb. If you don't know what IMDb is, it's the Internet Movie Database. Adding your TV placements and movie credits gives you some legitimacy. It allows clients to find some uses of your music, and it helps to just to get your name out there. I usually will add my credits to IMDb couple times a year or whenever I'm thinking of it, especially when I get my PRO statements. That's a good time to kind of comb through. Just having your stuff on an IMDb can also be a nice kind of little online resume. So a good stuff to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it today. So before we start, one decision you'll want to make is whether you want to put every single placement on your IMDb or if you just want to do, say, the American or the placements that are in your native language. Well, for one, if you just have a ton of credits, it looks good. But let's say you have, like, if you live in America, you have 20 credits in America, and then you have like hundreds of stuff that nobody can pronounce. You might want people to see only the stuff that they can read in your language. So something to keep in mind. You could do either one, but just make a decision based on what you think people will be looking for. Personally, I used to add almost every show that I could find, but now, since I have a lot of stuff, I mostly just do stuff that's written in English. I don't have the time to be inputting my information for every single placement I get. It would take too long. I have decent enough numbers on there now, so just having the best of the best on there, I think, is what I'll be doing hereafter. All right, so I'm going to show you on the screen how you can add your credits to IMDb. Step one is to create an account on IMDb if you don't have one already. That should be a simple enough thing. I'm not really going to show you guys how to do that. I'm sure you've created accounts on hundreds of websites by now. Step two is to search for the show that you have your music placed on, the show that you want to credit yourself for. Step three, find the correct episode of the show. From my experience, not every episode is listed on IMDb for shows. In fact, you might get about 1/4 or 1/3 of the episodes, but it all depends when you try to do this. If like the episode aired last night and you're trying to do it today, chances are it's not going to be there yet. But if it was like last season, for example, you might have a lot better of a shot of finding it. If the episode is not listed, you can actually add it yourself. It's not really that time consuming. If you really want to, you can. But I typically don't bother unless the episode's already listed. So yeah, you might have better luck if you wait longer before you submit your credit to IMDb. So let's assume that you found the correct TV show and the correct episode that you want to add to. The next step is going to depend on how you got the placements. If you're like me and you're a music library sync composer, it'll be different than if you're, say, somebody who scores entire episodes of a show where you're like the composer who did the whole episode. Okay, so this is one of the shows that I had a placement on recently. Show is called Wheeler Dealers. I know from the PRO statement that the episode's called Lotus Europa. A quick Google search showed me that it was season 17. So let's find it on here. Here we go, Lotus Europa. So I'm going to go to the bottom of the page, contribute to this page, edit page. So here you can see all the different things you could add or change on the show. If you could like update anything, the lighting person or editors or whatever. But as a sync library composer, this is what I'm going to go to. Music department, add 1 credit. If you were somebody who is the straight up composer for the show and you score the entire thing, you would going to go under composers here, add 1 credit. But nope, mine's just additional music that was added to the show. So here we go, continue. I will add my name here. Yep, it recognizes me because I've submitted before. It shows that this is me, the one who has a music department placement on Magnum PI. And over here, I'm going to do additional music. So sometimes you have to, well, we always were going to do this, check these updates. I know from doing this that you put additional music. Sometimes it makes you do uncredited, but that didn't show up, so additional music worked. And since it's all green here, that means it's ready to submit. Sometimes you might have an issue with the composer here. If you don't have like a profile on here, then you're not going to show up, so you'll need to create a profile. And the other issue you'd have, like I said, would be it might list you as uncredited rather than additional music, but one of those two should work. Additional music is preferred because it just sounds better. Okay, let us submit these updates. There we go. They can track the contribution. You should get an email basically immediately. Yep. Thank you for your contribution. And there it is. Track it. It'll tell you when it's gonna show up. It usually shows up the same day, maybe like one day later. Could be even as soon as minutes or like an hour later. So it doesn't take too long. Pretty cool. So that's basically all there is to it. You find your show, the episode, click music department, you add yourself. If you don't have a profile on there, you might have to make a profile. Even if you have an account, there needs to be a profile associated with the composer. You can have a paid IMDb account where you can upload photos. So that gives you a little bit more legitimacy too. But I personally just leave it blank. I don't need to pay for a membership for that. The more stuff you have to pay for, the less money you're going to make. So if I eventually am like rich from it, then yes, I will do it. But it's not necessary for me right now. Occasionally, somebody wants to check out my credits. So I have like a list on my website and stuff. And I could also just send them a link to my IMDb page, which I have 60 TV placements on there at the moment. I could add a ton more, like international stuff. And I could add episodes that aren't already there, but it seems like more trouble than it's worth. So I just do popular American shows that are listed on IMDb with the episode already. To me, that seems like enough. At least people will see legitimate credits and not just a pile of random stuff that's in like French or German or whatever. That's it, guys. Pretty simple. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.